All right, morning everybody. Happy Thursday. JD here. So you guys hear me okay? Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? Just wanted to make sure.
Yes, we can.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. So September is Agent Safety Month. And that, as I've been reading through the stuff on CB Desk and through NAR, means a lot of different things. So there's a lot of different aspects to that. So I just wanted to go over a couple of the resources that, of course, we're going to send out in Blue Matters Monday, but is also available right on the NAR site. So the first thing that I want you guys to kind of be aware of is that if you go into CB Desk and you go to, I believe it was under, where did I find it? Under CB Brand, they have all of their articles that they send out in email once a day or once a week, depending on how you get the CB briefs, which are the alerts from the brand. And one of the things they're doing for the next 4 weeks is a safety tip of the week. So once a week in those CB briefs, you are going to see a safety tip. The first one that they released, which actually came out yesterday, is a social media one, and it's one that I've talked about a lot in a lot of our trainings. It's one that is very important in the digital day and age, but it is basically to be aware of your online reputation as an agent, and of course, on our level, as an office. The tips down here, they try to keep it nice and brief, which I really like. Be aware of the activity on your social profiles, pages, and blogs by monitoring and reviewing your social media efforts regularly. Now, that's to me not just about what you're posting, but how people are responding to these posts, right? So, are people commenting? That's one of the biggest things I see our agents missing is they'll share a listing, they'll post in one of their community Facebook groups, and then some negative comments come in, and because sometimes we just kind of share it and walk away, we don't monitor that. And monitoring those comments, responding to them, removing or deleting the ones that we need to is really important to protect your agent's reputation. So being aware of that. It even says that you can recommend setting up Google alerts for your name whenever something about you is posted. Now, that might be a little more important, like a bigger city where there might be more stuff like that happening. But I think the main point here is this bottom one. Everything you post online should reflect the reputation you want to project to your clients. And I would take that even a step further, and I'm going to click go back to see if they did do one last week. I take that a step further and remind our agents and everybody here. Here's the other tip of the week. I think this was actually perfect. This was the actual first one. Is this second point here? Keep business and personal social media separate. Now, one thing that our agents do a pretty good job of is having business pages and having their personal pages and sort of keeping that content separate, which is great. However, remember that even things on your personal page, an agent is always on. They're always having to they always need to make sure they're thinking about their brand. And so we have agents that literally have maxed out their friend account on Facebook because they want to have all of their clients be personal friends of them as well. 5,000 friends on Facebook, which means that what they post on their personal page is just as important as what they post on their business page. So just because in our heads we might go, okay, personal versus business, it's all reputation, it's all branding. So something that you post on your personal page can and oftentimes will affect your business if it is something kind of out there and big. So keeping that in mind, that what you put on social media will affect your brand and your reputation and your business. So this is the sort of way that the company that Coldwell Banker has been talking about safety. They also have a link, and we're going to include this in Blue Matters Monday, to the NAR Safety Hub. And when you go here, I already have it pulled up, of course. Their kind of description of safety is a little bit different, which is why I like talking about both of them, because they are equally important in terms of safety. So I'm sure we've all heard stories of things happening to agents at open houses or with clients they didn't know, and although they are the exception, they are not the normality when it comes to these interactions. There's still things we need to be cautious of and kind of prepared for. So when you go to the Safety Hub, they've got webinars, they've got training videos, they've got some personal protection resources, which we're going to look at in a second. They also have this Realtor Safety Pledge that our agents can take. Um, so going through two or three of these here, going on the first one, which is plan your safety strategy. These are some really important tips. And again, I've heard, at least at the Holland office that I sit out of before, COVID and stuff. I've heard a lot of this stuff discussed at sales meetings, which is really good to know that this information is getting out there in front of our agents. But following best practices when it comes to meeting clients, there's a whole bunch of tips here. Meet in a neutral location, share your schedule with somebody so they know where you're going. Don't overshare about your personal life. Some people like to not host open houses alone for safety. This is one that I never thought about until someone shared it. Direct clients to walk in front of you when touring a property. So a lot of things like this that maybe you do think about, maybe you wouldn't normally think about, but they're great reminders to share with your agents. And you know your office best, right? You know the best way to get in touch with your agents. I know that I'm the digital guy, but it might, if your agents take paper all the time, it might be worth making a little printout and putting them in their mailboxes, and just so that they have a sheet of paper to take a look at. So there's some safety tips here for actually meeting with clients, actually meeting at open houses. They also have some safety tips here, some graphics that you can share on social media. They actually have 56 weekly tips. So if you wanted to, I mean, that's more weeks than there are in the year, but that's still pretty cool. If you wanted to try to make this a part of your office cadence, you've got 2 years worth of content right there. And then the other part that we had talked about was the resources for personal protection. And again, this can mean a lot of different things. They've got a PET here that you can look at. They also have some safety programs and apps that you can look at. I know that in some of our regions, again, specifically West Michigan, that the local MLS or the local board provides this app called Forewarn, which is an app that an agent can basically put someone's name in and find a lot of previous information on them, including criminal records, anything financial like bankruptcies, properties, cars, stuff like that. This is provided by the board, and our agents, at least the ones that I've talked to about it, have really liked that because it just feels like an extra layer if some sort of new lead comes in or if something seems off to you. So Forewarn is something to look at, but they have a bunch of other options here as well. And again, it's just about safety. I know that sounds redundant at the end of the day, but it's just about making sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you are careful when you're going out and meeting people you haven't met before, and just keeping your wits about you. So finally, like I said, they got some training videos here, and then they have the Realtor Safety Pledge. So you can take the pledge. You've got a little download there that you can go with, and again, this is kind of the does Forewarn come at a cost to the agents? Yes, it does, Sharon. That's why I was mentioning that for in our region, our board pays for it. So for the WinLAR, the board in West Michigan, the agents don't pay for it. It's just, well, I guess they do because it's part of their dues. But it is something that an agent can download and pay for themselves if they ever want to. It is $20 a month with an annual agreement for individual agents. If it's something you wanted to look at an office level with your manager, there are discounts and stuff like that, but that would probably, of course, be a bit of a bigger conversation. But yeah, $20 a month, and it's one of those things that I would say, like, if you use it, it's worth it. But if you download it, pay for it, and never use it, then of course it's not going to be worth it. But yeah, that's really it for today. I just, Carrie, if there's anything else that you're thinking of that I haven't mentioned, or things that you want me to bring up, please let me know. It's just a reminder to, again, be careful, be safe, share this information with our agents so that they can see this stuff. Again, it's stuff that you've heard, or that they've heard probably a bunch before. But we know how many times it takes to really soak something in, and it might just be something, that hearing it this next time when they're in that situation, it starts to call back, and they're just being a bit more careful. So they do have 2 webinars. NAR does next week, the 15th and the 16th. I think that's next week. Yes, next Wednesday and Thursday. So maybe it's something you want to put up in the office, send out for your agents. But again, this link, and let me share it real quick in the chat here, but I'm also going to put it in Blue Matters Monday. But that's it. That's all I've got for you guys. I've got no more questions coming in, so we'll wrap it up, and you can have 5 minutes of your day back. Thank you for your time
Hey,
as always.
JD,
Yes. Yes.
Is there any, I'm Carrie, is there anything like an employee safety month? Just kidding.
Every month is
No.
Employee Safety Month in my books.
Yeah,
I'm
Sharon, a
Ideally.
lot of these tips are good for us in the office
Yeah.
as well. But with Sarah Smith and HR's help, we are planning on putting together a portion of our fall ASC training will be focused on those type of things for the office specifically.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
So absolutely, we are focusing on that as well. And JD, I think you covered it perfectly. We just ask you guys to cover this in your sales meeting. You know, ask your managers for 5-10 minutes to point out these resources and keep it top of mind for our agents.